G'day legends, and thanks for tuning in to another Sammy Hitsky fishing adventure. Except this time, it's not an adventure. We're doing a catch and cook. Well, I've already done the catching, I'm just going to do the cooking. I'm going to be smoking up some tailor. Now, I had an absolutely epic session on the tailor yesterday, Arvo, and we caught some great fish, but I brought some home. So I'm going to be eating some fresh tonight, which that's easy to do. Everyone knows how to do that. But the cool thing about tailor is they smoke up an absolute treat. So that's the product. As you can see, some great sized fish. I think that guy's the biggest. He went mid 50s. So that's a good chopper by anyone's standards. Nice verging on greenback territory. But what we're going to do, we're going to fillet them up, and then I'm going to show you how the process goes to get them into the smoker and into your bellies. So you got to brine them and then smoke them. But first step is filleting. So I'm going to fillet a few up. I'll show you how to do that if you want. And yeah, we'll go from there. But everyone else does catch and cook, so it's my turn. Enjoy, guys. Rightio, so we're going to fillet this guy up. I've had to change you over to chest cam, but you can't see my pretty face, but that's all right. So what we're going to do, we're going to leave the scales on this guy. There's no reason to take them off, so scales on. Just watch yourself with your knife, because when the scales are on, you can cop a scale and it flick up. So I'm going to try and get most of this in the camera without cutting myself. So run the knife along the back there, all the way down to the backbone. Just angle that up a bit more, I think. Do the same on the underside. All the way to the tail. Then flip them over. Now, there's plenty of ways to fillet tailor. This is just my way. Of course, you can do it in one sweep, but I find you leave a lot of meats, particularly on the bigger choppers. Small 35 to 40 centimeter choppers, you can get away with that, no worries at all. But the bigger guys, they've got a bigger spine, so it is a lot easier to do it this way. You save yourself a lot more meat. Anyway, so all the way to the spine. Now I switch knives for this. Pinch between my two fingers there, run it along the back and flick, and that's when we start getting in. Peel that fillet up, get it in and work the knife along. Now I'm going to do it, try and leave the ribs in so there's less working here. So you can see I've gone through the pin bones, just going to run it along top of the ribs there. They've got pretty soft bones, so if you've got a really sharp knife, chances are you'll cut through them anyway, but it's no big deal, you can take them out after. Once you get to the end and the guts there, voila, that's one fillet there. Now you flip them over, move that out of the way, same thing, pinch your fillet under, spin him around. I like to nick that bit on the head, you never seem to get that, and then flick through the pin bones over the ribs. Like I said, pretty soft bones, so if you go through, it's not the end of the world. You just take them out after the fillet's off and work it down like so. Beautiful. And you've got two prime eating fillets. Now tailor get a bit of a bad rap for being a poor eating fish, and to be honest, I don't really know where that's come from. Yeah, they've got quite a strong flavour, but if you like eating fish, then there's nothing wrong with two fillets like that, particularly fresh. I think a lot of the stigma comes from people who don't look after their fish properly. So when I catch a tailor, you can see there he's got a hole in his head where I brain spiked him, so straight after capture, brain spike, that's pretty well a knife straight in the side of the head there. Then I open up the gills, chuck the knife in and cut his gills there, so that bleeds them and brains them. So after that, the fish is dead and there's no blood left in it. And I think if you do that, then chuck them straight on ice, what you'll find is you're left with quite a good table quality fish. Anyone who says otherwise, probably doing it wrong. Now after that, we grab our cutting board. We're going to remove the pin bones, which is these bones here that sit in the middle of the fillet. Grab your knife, run it along either side, like so. You have to give it a bit of force to get through that skin because it's still got the scales on. And then nick it at the bottom. Voila, that's a beautiful boneless piece of fish. Now this one's destined for the smoker. If I was going to eat it fresh, then I'd knock the scales off and I'd just eat the skin on. I quite like eating fish skin, so yeah, but that's how you fillet a tailor, nice and quick and easy, and it still leaves you with maximum meat, most return out of the fish you can get. Here's a little hot tip for you. Grab yourself some 11 litre mop buckets and drill some holes in the top one, and then use that to chuck your fillets in. Now what that does is it drains your fillets of all the excess water and stuff while they're sitting there and you're packing them in, so you don't have to do it as much if you're going to freeze them or if you're going to cook them. You don't want soggy fillets. You can have that one for free. Righto guys, so we're going to move on to the next step, and that's brining our fish. Now, brining your fish for an extended period of time helps to keep the fish nice and moist after it's been in the smoker. Don't brine it. Potential it could dry out, so we're going to make a very simple brine for these, Taylor. I've got 4 cups of water. I've got half a cup of sea salt. And I've got half a cup of brown sugar. Now once you get the hang of it, you can go as crazy as you want with these brines and really step them up and put your own flair on it, but that's a nice simple start. I'm just going to grab a spoon so I can stir that up. What you want to do is stir it till it's all dissolved. Right, so once all that's dissolved, grab your fish, lay it in. Oh, almost need a bigger bowl. You want to make sure all the fish is covered. I might make up another one to fit the rest of these in. Yeah, I'll use a couple of knives. And you want to weight the fillets down so they're all completely submerged in the brine. You don't want them floating up like they will try and do. Now after that, you want to chuck them in the fridge for about 6 to 12 hours, depending on how much time you've got. And just allow that brine to really work its way in and really do its magic. So into the fridge for these guys, and in 6 hours time, we're going to crank up the smoker. Now since I'm making up another batch, I thought I may as well have a bit of fun with it. I'm going to use a recipe good mate Shawnee Whale told me. So I'm going to have a bit more fun with that. So we've got the same 4 cups of water. I'm going to put a little bit less salt in. Now one thing to remember is the salt is kind of to taste. You can really over salt them and that turns them out bad, but it's what you prefer. So it might take you a couple of goes to figure out how much salt you like to have in your brine. If you're not a massive fan of salty foods, then you might want to go a little bit easier. Got the half a cup of brown sugar. Now I'm going to chuck in some lemon wedges and some peppercorns. So I've got black peppercorns, just a few. Don't want to go too crazy. And I'll chuck some white peppercorns in there as well. Beautiful. Give it a stir. You want all that salt and sugar dissolved. Carton to the first person who wants to come over here and scull this fluid. I reckon it'd be pretty dank. But the end result is good, so that's the main thing. Chuck your fish in. Just make sure all your lemon wedges are in the solution, and away we go. Same thing, lid on, in the fridge. Okie dokie, so 6 hours is up. Well, it's probably a bit over actually, but that's fine. What I've done is I've taken the tailor out of the brine, I've given it a quick rinse in fresh water, and then I've laid them out on some paper towel. Now what you want to do is pat the fillets down and then put them on a drying rack and chuck them back in the fridge just to dry out until the fish is tacky and sticky. You don't want to be putting it in there wet. It'll probably take about an hour or 2 hours in the fridge to dry up. So what you want to do is about half an hour before you think it's ready, crank up your smoker, get that ready to rock and roll so you can go straight from the fridge straight into your smoker. Give these a pat down. So yeah, bit of a process, but the end result is definitely worth it. Now, skin side down on your drying rack. Use this space as efficiently as possible because as you can see there's a few fillets to do here. It's a giant game of Tetris. Right, now that one's ready to go back in the fridge just to dry the fillets off. Righto, so that's been a couple of hours now. What I've done is I've got my tray out of the smoker. I've just rubbed some oil on it so it doesn't stick. I'm just going to place my fillets there on the smoking racks. Now I know these are ready because they've got like a glaze over them and they're quite tacky to touch. They're nice and sticky, so it's exactly what you want. Now it's time to get them in the smoker. I'm going to leave a bit of a gap between them so that the smoker can move around. Now I've chucked a bit of cracked pepper on a couple of them there, you might be able to see there. It's just for a bit of extra flavour. But that there is ready to go in the smoker. Now Smoker's already on, it's smoking away nicely, so gonna get these, chuck them in. Okie dokie, so I've got the smoker set about 70 degrees so far. Chuck these in. Now I've already got a couple of little bits of fish in there I'm just doing already. But I'll put the other 3 racks in as well. Now, just a quick one on the wood. I'm using a combination of apple wood chips and Banksia cones, and I find they make quite a nice tasting smoke. It's quite a light, sweet smoke. It's not a super strong flavour, so yeah, it's pretty unoffensive. And yeah, I've got a mate with a Banksia tree, so they're free as well, whereas this stuff is a little more expensive. Each their own, everyone likes their own different ones. Look at it go. Now, I had to set up a bit of a windbreak because we're getting some breeze to it and it was blowing out the burner because this one's gas. But so I've had it on about 70 degrees for about 2 hours now. I probably should have pointed out earlier, the style of smoked fish I'm going for here is more like the stuff that you'd have on a bit of cracker or on a sandwich, or you know, stir it through some pasta. It's not like your quick hot smoke like a nipper kipper would do, that would do it in 15 minutes or so and then you just sit down and eat a meal of it. You probably couldn't sit down and eat a meal of this, it'd probably be pretty strong flavour, but on biscuits and through pasta and all that sort of stuff, absolutely unreal. So just going to crank the temperature probably up to about 90 now and leave it there for the last half and really get it going. Ladies and gentlemen, that is a wrap. Have a go at that. You ripper. Looks unreal and it smells phenomenal. Oh, text message while filming, that's a carton on the set. But guys, let's drag this out and have a taste. I reckon we've earned it. That is the result. Have a go at that colour. Delicious. The old back couple here, the ones that I couldn't see, they got a little bit crispy, but I think they're definitely still edible. This big piece here, it looks beautiful. One's around it. I'm very happy with that. Time to break one up and give it the taste test. It is time to test the fruits of our labour. Have a go at that. Absolutely delicious. Smoked tail, a bit of cheese and a cracker. Get your cheese, whack it on there, pull a bit off. On the top, and I'll tell you what, that is a bit of alright. Anyone who says you can't eat Taylor, I challenge you to try that because it's absolutely unreal. Like I was saying, cheese crackers, awesome. Chuck it on a sandwich, stir it through a pasta. The uses are pretty well endless. It's pretty good chewing. Anyways guys, there's a hot tip for your next Taylor session. Maybe keep a few, chuck them in the smoker. Till next time guys, have a good one. Catch you later.